was interesting yesterday. Look, man, we've been talking about how we felt watching that game and when it ended. You know, we've been talking about it all day. How did you feel? How did you feel when that thing ended the way it did yesterday?
How did I feel? I had a lot of things going on, honestly, in my head, just different things that I thought about. You kind of start replaying different moments, certain plays. Of course, for me, my plays somewhat came towards the end when I tripped and things like that. The damn dude got up, ran 60 yards. I mean, I was more so thinking about stuff like that, different plays we could have made. But I mean, ultimately to lose from a block kick that then I can say it was almost 100% going in with Cairo kicking that from where he kicked it was difficult to take in. But I mean, shoot, we've been getting punched in the face in a lot of different ways from a lot of different people. So I mean, this point it's kind of getting used to taking the punches. We just got to figure out a way to throw some knockout punches ourselves.
Yeah, those two losses, like the Hail Mary loss and this one, that's got to be up there as two of the most painful losses of your career at this point.
Definitely are those two. It's not up there. It's definitely those two.
I was told by someone that you were the last player to leave the field yesterday because you were trying to process all of this stuff. How do you get yourself back to being the person that you always are? You know, like, well, how do you work through it and say, yeah, these are tough losses. We have been getting punched in the face, but now I've got to figure out how to get myself back and punch back.
I mean, shoot, very much easy for me. I mean, shoot, we got Justin Jefferson coming to the building, so of course that's a matchup I've been wanting for some years now. Of course, we haven't been able to see each other for a few years, but I mean, shoot, it's pretty damn easy. You wake up and you keep putting your shoes on, you keep stepping. So I mean, for me, that's all I'm going to continue to do is one foot after the other and keep stepping in the right direction. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Both teams, I feel like they're hungry for success and trying to get to the playoffs and different things like that, and we're hungry to get a win. So I mean, there'll be two hungry teams coming in here to try to dig out a win some way, somehow. So I mean, both teams are going to be fighting, going to be eager, and I know for me, I know I'm going to show up as well.
I know that it's hard to like even talk about like breaking down tripping and falling, but what happened on that play?
I'm assuming you didn't see the replay.
Oh, I saw it. I want to hear from your point of view.
He's talking about my point of view. I mean, I don't know too much more to explain it. I jammed the guy off the line, jammed him again in good position. I knew the route. He's running an over route. Went to undercut it and tripped over his foot. I mean, clearly I wasn't thinking about his foot or didn't see his foot. Clipped his foot, took me out, and then he made a diving catch. So I mean, to explain it, that's the only thing that happened. But I know if it would have went the way that I wanted it to go, as far as not hitting his foot, it probably would have been a game-sealing interception.
Oh, really? You think you were going to pick? You think you had that picked if you don't trip over the feet?
100%. Because I mean, especially where he threw the ball, he didn't just throw the ball out in front or anything like that. I mean, the ball was low and somewhat flat. So I mean, I know I would have been underneath him, and that ball would have fell right into my hands.
So
sure.
that explains a lot, Jaylon. Like that really explains like why you're out there on the field by yourself at the end, because you're saying this was an opportunity for you to help end the game, and just because like it, you know, guys'
100%.
feet get tripped up, and just because you don't have that win in your pocket.
100%, no doubt, no doubt. And I feel like for me, it was one of those things where it's like maybe if I didn't trip or whatever, and I was still in the position, maybe I didn't intercept him, but I kind of replayed the pass over and over and over, and just the timing of everything. He was throwing that ball regardless. So I know if I would have undercut it at the time that I did, I just didn't trip. The ball was going to come out, and he didn't throw that ball that way because I tripped. So I mean, that definitely would have been a very catchable pass, unless of course Christian Watson tackles me and I couldn't catch it. But if all things went the way it was supposed to go, that was a play that I knew I was going to make when I went to undercut it. Because I knew the play. I knew they were clearing everybody else out to get this over out. And I mean, I jammed her from the jump, and the play was over with. All I had to do was undercut and possibly catch the ball, depending on the situation. But that definitely could have ended the game for sure.
Oh my God, Jaylon! This answer, this changes it makes it even more heartbreaking, frankly. Like, because
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, yeah, as I get it, to Lawrence's point. And I got to tell you, I was talking a big game all week. I picked the Bears, and part of the reason was I'm like, Jordan Love's going to throw 2 picks because he puts the ball in harm's way sometimes, and the way that you guys play as a secondary, and that would have been the second one in the game sealer. It was that close. It was that close to happening.
Yeah. I guess it didn't work out. I mean, we played a damn good game. Everything that we did was solid. I mean, of course, it was going against a good offense. They were going to score some points, move the ball, but that was definitely supposed to seal the game. The offense did a heck of a job, gave us all that they needed to give us. So, I mean, for me, it was just going out there, being myself, making that play. And, of course, even if I did trip and the guy didn't catch it or maybe he was down or something like that, then okay, cool. But it's like him to turn what should have been an interception into a 60-yard gain, they score a touchdown. It's like, damn, that's all. That hurts. And it's like, I can't say I would do anything different. I mean, good technique. I just got my foot tripped up in the midst of trying to get in better position to play the ball. But, I mean, overall, I wouldn't do anything different. It just didn't work out.
You have talked to us about the difference between using really good sound cover skills technique and being somebody who aggressively goes for turnovers and gambles, you know, like... So, like, I don't know, like Jair Alexander on the other side, right? As we've talked about, was tripping over him a product specifically of you going for it on that play in that way?
No. I mean, if I would have stayed where I was, I'm sure he would have just caught the ball. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was taking the risk, doing anything out of character. That's almost cornerback one-on-one. Once a guy starts getting to a certain part of the field across the middle, I mean, you just don't stay behind him. You go to undercut it because normally the ball is going to be right there. So, I mean, you kind of undercut and change position with the wide receiver. So, I mean, it wasn't so much a gamble. He was already into his route. I already played great technique, aggressive, jammed him, getting in position. So, I mean, all I was doing was getting in position to catch the ball. That wasn't anything as far as taking a risk or trying to get greedy or anything like that. It's at the end of the day, you play corner to play the ball. So I was getting in position to play the ball, and I tripped.
I was doing work out in the burbs yesterday with Olin Kreutz and Patrick Manley. Like, I was working on our pre and our post game show.
Mm-hmm.
I was really jealous that I wasn't there yesterday because the energy in the building felt high. Like, it felt like, just from watching it on TV, it felt like a playoff game. What did it feel like there?
I mean, for us, we just wanted to come out with extreme energy, really on both sides of the field. I mean, for me, I was trying to set that tone with my chippiness from the very beginning, trash talking pregame, talking from the first snap to the last snap. Nothing really changed or stopped, just really overall everybody having that energy. And I feel like the offense fed off of it. The defense, we were able to feed off and make plays, getting stops in the red zone, getting the turnover in the red zone as well. So, I mean, things like that is energy, a will to win. And I feel like we all had that. We just came up short.
Yeah, there was some good complimentary football moments yesterday, man. Where like offense and defense playing and setting each other up in some ways. Like after you guys stopped them on 4th and goal, right? The offense drove the ball to midfield and like picked up some big first downs. It was like, look at this. Then some of us were hoping they went for it on 4th down there at midfield. Even it's like keep on going. Were you hoping for that? Because we were. Lawrence was especially.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, I can't even say hoping. It was really open. I feel like for discretion at that point, just based on I feel like how we were playing defense. I feel like the goal was to really pin them, really inside the 10. And they ended up getting a return. I don't know if that was the return where we got a penalty, so it moved them closer as well. But I know the goal was to really pin them deep, get a 3 and out, whatever takeaway, and then really just let the offense run the clock out. So it wasn't. I wouldn't say a decision that they should have went for it. I mean, either way, it was going to be. I feel like a solid decision, but it just again didn't work out how we wanted it to work out.
We've been praising Thomas Brown. Jaylon, you there? We got him. So, I've never seen that before. That was a fascinating thing.
It was a Silk Sonic there in the background.
If you were watching on the video stream or on Twitch, like it looked like the shutter went up. Like he
I
put
mean,
up the blinds.
if you're gonna go offline, that's a good thing to have.
That was a good looking way.
Instead of seeing what other things might be going on, you never know. So you always gotta be careful what your background is and all that good stuff.
We got him back. We got you back, Jaylon.
My apologies. Yeah, my apologies.
All good. We've been praising Thomas Brown. Looked like the offense was very smooth yesterday, and Caleb said he loved the plays getting called in fast, and you had to see an offense functioning better than you have. That was probably good to see.
Yeah, no doubt. And too, I feel like it's one of those things that just them getting back to us knowing who they can really be. 'Cause, I mean, we've seen it for a few games, some Spurs kind of seeing it here and there, but I feel like seeing it again, seeing the execution, the ball move, seeing them being comfortable and things like that. Just even the body language coming off to the sideline, even when they didn't score or get points, it was still positive. Like they felt good, they had a good rhythm, different things like that. So I mean, just really the energy, the body language, of course, them putting up more points, all of that was good, and they had a lot of energy too. So I mean, just everything, top to bottom, inside out, I think was a lot better and it was evident. You were able to see it.
Things were coming. The ball was coming out quick. You could argue they were playing like a quick game. The 2.62 seconds on Caleb's throws. Flip this around for me, Jaylon. What's that like for defense when an offense has success and there really isn't even time for a pass rush to make a difference?
I mean, at that point, it's really up to the DBs. The DBs got to be active, or DBs, linebackers, the underneath defenders. Everybody got to be active, even for the D line. Maybe they're not hitting the quarterback, but you can get your hands up, tips and passes, and things like that. So, I mean, there's still ways the front can get involved, but really at that point, the secondary got to start challenging because you know that ball's going to come out quick. There's not too many deep routes or really hard routes that are going to come out. There's not going to be too many double moves with the ball coming out, too many long developing routes. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying to get the ball out quick, the routes got to be quick. So, I mean, it really turns into the DBs and linebackers getting active underneath and then the D-line getting their hands up.
Did you guys make a concerted effort as a defense to try and, as a secondary, to try and come up and support on the run? Looked like Kevin Byard was much more aggressive than he has been, and he had a good game doing that against them.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, again, we just knew going into the game, we always said that's going to be on us in the run and the pass. So we were just trying to figure out ways best we can to impact the game in all areas. So, I mean, Kevin coming in, you trying to get involved in the run a whole lot for sure. Just him trying to just make plays, figure out ways to impact the game. Kyler, of course, always being active in the run. Myself trying to set edges, get off blocks, trying to hit guys in the backfield, things like that. Just all of us trying to find ways to win the game.
Do you guys feel like the defense played well enough to win that game?
Well enough to win, definitely. I would say so. I mean, again, I feel like who knows, but I feel like outside of that 160-yard play, I mean, what were they at? 14 before that? So, I mean, 14 points in an NFL game is pretty dang good. So, I mean, I'm convinced if I get that stop there, even if I don't intercept it and just knock the ball down, I feel like we'd have had too much momentum to let them to go all the way down there and score the ball. I mean, they wouldn't even been able to kick a field goal because we were up by 5. So, I mean, I don't see them marching their way down all the way and getting a touchdown. So, I mean, regardless of that trip or not, me getting an interception, I know they wouldn't have went down there and just scored a touchdown on us. It was just the explosive that got them down there.
Now that you've had a chance to see again, Jordan Love with this group of receivers that he's got, that run game with Josh Jacobs, he was chirping a little bit yesterday too.
Yeah.
What do you think of them? Like, is their record indicative of how good of a team they are?
Well, I don't even know their record. What's their record?
7-3.
7-3. 7-3 now.
And they didn't have anybody out on offense?
No.
That was
They were about as healthy as they've been because Jordan Love had like the groin injury for a little while.
Yeah. Elton Jenkins was back. I think that's everybody.
I mean, they were solid. They were a solid offense. I mean, I wouldn't say anything scared me that they did or was just something that was tough. I mean, it wasn't. It was a solid offense. I wouldn't just say they're special, and I wouldn't just say that they're a bad offense, of course. So, I mean, they're a solid offense to go against.
On the show I was on before I joined this one, we used to have Jaquan Brisker on every week. So, you got a lot of affection for Jaquan. He was a lot of fun and we had a good time with him. I'm worried about him, Jaylon. I'm worried about him with him having to go on IR, and I take head injuries very seriously, so I'm okay with guys taking as much time as they need to feel better and feel like they can contribute and play. What's it like for you guys knowing how badly he wants to play and that he's not playing? And where does like the thinking about him not just as a teammate but as a human being, like where does that come in for you?
I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, I don't look at a lot of our guys just as teammates, but as people. So, I mean, of course, when you're dealing with a head injury, that's in a sense that in your neck is one of the most serious injuries that you can have. So I feel like for him, that's something to take his complete time on, nothing to try to rush back or even, hey, bro, are you ready? Are you ready? I mean, nobody's really even asking him if he's ready to come back. It's just more so come back when you're ready. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not even going to say taking his time as if it's just some passive thing that he's doing, but he's just trying to get 100%, get his head, neck, mind, everything right to where he can come back and perform at his highest capability. So, I mean, just overall, just want him to take his time, make sure his mind, body, spirit is right throughout this process. Because, I mean, he wants to come back. So just not him getting too down, getting too low, but just keeping his spirits up, keeping his mind and his body right, progressing the right way. And then when his body is allowing him to come back, he'll come back and impact the game for us.
Is it scary for you to see like anyone be injured that way, but specifically like a teammate? Is that something that you even think about, or do you have to completely block it out of your mind to do what you do?
I mean, nah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's scary. Everybody has different ways. I mean, even just the topic of concussions, Tua concussion looked 10 times worse as Jaquan's did, but Tua came back quicker and things like that. So, I mean, it's more so just kind of how you look at it. At the end of the day, everybody's body is different. Everybody handles concussions different. And his situation is his situation at the end of the day. So, I mean, as long as he's good, off the field first and foremost, as long as he can function and things like that, and then come back and play the game that he loves and that we all want him to come back and play. I mean, then that's extra. That's a bonus. So, I mean, just knowing him, talking to him, he'll be back when it's time.
All right, Jaylon, one little thing from that game yesterday, and then I got a big picture thing. The little thing is Josh Jacobs wanting the collision with you on the sideline. Yeah. Like he like says, come here. He gives you the two fingers, like calling you over, and you didn't shy away from it at all. That just looked like a good big-time NFL collision on the sideline. What was your thought on it?
It's funny. I was actually surprised. Like when I seen him do it, I was just like, "He talking to me?" Like, and it's crazy because it's like I'm no big hitter or anything like that. I feel like it's honestly because I was chirping all day. So I mean, kind of just getting rowdy with some guys. I felt like that was just kind of like his way to try to get him one up. But I mean, he's definitely not somebody I'm just trying to go sideline pop with. So I mean, I went low, got him out of bounds, and that was it. We had a laugh about it, and then kind of just jogged back. But I mean, I wish he'd have did that to Jaquan. Jaquan would have took him out for me, but I mean, I wasn't tripping about it.
All right, and then the big picture thing. I had a guy at where I was watching the game. It's my brother-in-law. Starts going, well, after the game, he's like, oh, no, this is good. This is what you want. You want him to lose and get a better draft pick. Go ahead. This is what you want. He was pivoting to that. I'm not ready for it, Jaylon. I'm not ready for it. I spent last year like, lose more games. Are people talking to you like the season's over? Because they're talking to me like it, and it sucks, frankly.
Nah, I mean, I haven't heard that type of talk. I mean, in the building, outside the building. In the day, we got plenty of opportunities to win some games. We got some big time teams coming up. So I mean, quite honestly, the probabilities is low for us, but I mean, it's statistically it's not over yet. We just got to keep chirping. I mean, at the end of the day, we got opportunity to win the division still. Hopefully Detroit loses some games, of course, and then we can beat them twice and things like that. So I mean, we still got opportunity. So I mean, it's nothing to give up on. We just got to take it one game at a time. And I mean, it's definitely doable. There's been teams to go on 7-game winning streaks at the end of the season. So I mean, it's definitely doable, but it starts with one win at a time, and we just got to find that one and carry that momentum, and then really just keep going from there and chip it away one at a time.
Who was giving the best smack talk back to you yesterday? Was it the Jacobs run, or was it the receivers?
I would probably say the Jacobs run because I mean nobody else was talking about nothing that was worth anything.
That's what I like to hear.
Man. All right, Jaylon. Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for everything.
Yeah,
and
thanks for taking care of our partner in crime, Layla Rahimi. She really thought it was an excellent night that you guys had.
Yeah, it was solid. It was a good turnout. Fans and people were involved and things like that. So, I mean, it was a good turnout overall, and then she hosted it really well.
All right, we're going to beat the Packers someday, man. You're going to have one. You're going to get one at some point.
The Vikings.
He's on to the Vikings,
He's on to Minnesota.
He's ready to go. Justin Jefferson, here it is. That's what I like to hear. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
This is Jaylon Johnson. He's always great and always available, always accountable.
Even if he's doing something. So what? He was doing something briefly.
Yeah, for a second. And then he came back on.
So he thought he was going to pick that and seal the freaking deal, man.